Alright, shalom, shalom. All praises, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Harakah, Kodash. And double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and Shalom. To all the hopeful elect brothers that's doing the work of the Lord in faith and in sincerity and in truth. Now, Lord will is going to be a quick lesson dealing with the news of two Jakes that was hung in the South, and this was recently. It says, this is from ABC News, death of Black Delta State student found hanging in tree ruled suicide following autopsy. So, yeah, I believe both of these were in the South. This is just one of them. But they happened around the same time, and they got news. Basically, the news came out about both Jakes being hung at the same time, but this is just one of them. It says a preliminary report indicates no foul play as the investigation remains active. So a so-called black man gets hung, and then the autopsy shows that it was a suicide, in which people are committing suicide because this world is going to nothing, but really, come on, the world knows that our people are still being hung, our people are still being oppressed by the oppressor, which is Esau, Jacob's evil twin brother. Esau as a nation is Edom, the Edomites, and they are the so-called white people, the Caucasians. They're the ones that rule the world because the Most High gave the earth to their power to rule it. But he Yahweh Shemel Shai, is stripping that power away from them. And he's going to use their allies and other Edomites, which are Russians, to destroy them with thermonuclear fire from the missiles. Then, after that, begins the reign of a righteous rulership, beginning with Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls the J word, JC, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, which is not his name. His name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shai, meaning he deliver, because he is the deliverer of his people, the Israelites, which is the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and our people, which are scattered abroad everywhere on the face of the earth in all the countries. Some of us may look like the people where we're at, but let me read it. It says, student found hanging from tree at Delta State University. The body of a black student. It's like my voice sound different. I just came from work. Very tired. Didn't drink much water. Salakia. I'm gonna drink some water soon. The body of a black student was found hanging from a tree at Delta State University in Mississippi. Mississippi is still a very much racist state. All the states are, but certain states, especially in the deep South, they still have sundown towns, which once the sun goes down, if you're a Jake, if you're a Negro or Native American or Hispanic, you better not be outside or else you go missing or something. as his death is raising concerns on campus. Trey Reed, Facebook. Now let me go to this before I read the rest. This is Zechariah 11 and 5. It says, now let me start at 4. Thus saith the Lord, my power. When you see the word Lord in all caps, that refers to the Most High Yahweh. Now we say Yahweh through his son Yahweh Shai, because Yahweh Shai is a mediator between, 7444. It's a license plate I just saw. Yahweh Shai, Salakia, is a mediator between the Most High and Israel. Thus saith the Lord, my power, feed the flock of the slaughter. Right? Who's the flock of the slaughter? Israel. Because we're under the curses, we're being ruled by our oppressors, we're being killed all the day long, even today. Even today, because look at this, the flock of the slaughter. The flock of the slaughter right here. We're still being hung. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. Yeah, let's start with that first part. Because right here it says, it ruled a suicide, meaning that person got rid of their own selves, if you know what I mean. You know? So the blame or the guilt doesn't go to Esau, a so-called white man, or a group of so-called white people that actually did it. The death of a 21-year-old black student discovered hanging from a tree. It's lucky I'm outside. Thank you. The death of a 21-year-old black student discovered hanging from a tree at Delta State University in Mississippi has been ruled a suicide, police said Thursday. Probably those white boys that did it have a connection. You know, their father or uncle or whatever is a mayor or some shit like that, and they gift and they fund the school or whatever link or connection they have, or they're just white. They're just Edomites. They just get away with crimes, whatever it might be. You know, the body of the student identified as DeMar Trevion Trey Reed was discovered by a faculty member around 7 a.m. on Monday, hanging from a tree near the pickleball courts on the Cleveland, Mississippi campus, according to the campus police department. Medical examiner, consistent with the initial investigation, determined the cause of death to be hanging in the manner of death as suicide. And what does it say here? Whose possessor slayed them? Because more than likely, as in, I believe 100%, this was a homicide. He got hung by force. And hold themselves not guilty. If they found whoever did this to be guilty, or they actually did an investigation, then it would have been ruled as a homicide, and it would have had to do further investigation to figure out who did it, and then it would have been a trial and a sentence. Then whoever did it would have been sentenced to jail. It would have been in the news. But it's suicide, so basically it's swept under the rug. That means not guilty. Hey, we don't know who did it. We're not guilty. And they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. Yet, because during slavery, when we were mining resources, For Esau, he got super and mega rich over the couple hundred years through cane, which produced sugar, cotton, tobacco, and also gold, silver, all type of resources. You know, we're building houses. I believe Jake built the White House or had a part in building the White House. Nothing but free labor for a couple hundred years. Blessed be the Lord. So they were happy while all that was going on. Now, let me get the other one. Where's the other one? Select. That's it? No. There's another one. I think this is the other one. This is some Clarion Ledger says investigations ongoing into the deaths of 2 Mississippi men found dead hanging. What we know. 2 deaths out of the national spotlight. A black man at Delta State University and a white homeless man. Okay. No. It's not a white homeless man. It was another Jake. Because I saw the 2 images. So they try to mix in a so-called white person in there. No, it was another Jake. So this is going off. Even though this homeless white man possibly died or whatever, but it was another Jake. But let me get to the scriptures and finish it up. Let me get to the scriptures. Let me get Baruch. That's it. Baruch chapter 3 and 8. Baruch chapters 3 and 4. It's really 2, 3, and 4 are really nice. I'm gonna lie. Yeah, I'm getting my voice back. Thou the Lord. Baruch chapter 3 verse 8 says, Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us. That means we are yet this day. That means we're not free. So like that's the wrong thing. We're not free. We're still in captivity. We're, even though brothers have jobs, brothers have families, but we're still under the curses and we're being oppressed. We have to pay taxes. We have to go to Esau for the one of all things. Food, clothes, what are prominent, think about it, what prominent Jake man or Jake family, so-called Black, Latino, Native American family own a farm, and then they just have their own brand that's a non-GMO, and then they just distribute vegetables, fruits, and lamb and bison and beef. Distribute vegetables, lamb, bison, regular beef, chicken, that's actually real food to the community, and the community actually support. No, we have to go to Esau for what of all things. You have to go to Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, a regular supermarket. All those are owned by Esau. And Esau can cut it off at any moment. The housing, we have to go to Esau for housing. If you want a house, you most likely have to get a housing loan. If you want a car, most likely if it's not gonna be a used car, you could buy it like for the low, buy a hoopty or something that's a few years old. We could just put on insurance and register it. Then most likely you're gonna need a car loan, which you get it from a bank which is Esau, right? So, for literally the one of all things, literally, except for the truth, except for the spirit, this truth Esau cannot get. Where thou hast scattered us for a reproach, and a curse. Reproach is going into shame, and a curse because we're under the curses of Deuteronomy 28 chapter. But it's slowly being transferred to our enemies. Esau is losing. These Edomites are losing jobs. They're losing their mind because, wow, 144. Wow, that's the spirit of the Lord. It's an old maxima, and it says, ask 4411. I'm not even making this up because I'm walking around. Before I go home, doing a lesson, and I go home and, take a shower, go to sleep for work tomorrow. That's the spirit of the Lord. Baruch. And to be subject to payments. Okay, so for reproach and a curse, we're under the curses of Deuteronomy 28 chapter still. And another 144. I'm not even making this up. And to be subject to payments, we are subject to payments. We have to pay for everything. And also, our payments are taxed. Heavily taxed. Heavily taxed. Like a third of your pay gone before you even get it. Plus, when you go on and actually buy things, it's taxed. And plus, you got to pay rent. Anything you buy have tax on it. According to all the iniquities of our fathers. Oh yeah, and also if you're late on a payment, you get taxed. According to all the iniquities, meaning going into sin, of our fathers which departed from the Lord our power. So Jake, back when we were in the land, the wicked of our people was doing so much wickedness, the Lord just got fed up and tired of it, and he scattered us. He punished us. He punished us by the hands of our enemies. The main enemy right now is Esau, Edom. And one more scripture to end it off. I don't want this to be super long, just straight to the point. This is Psalms chapter 44, verse 22. Yeah, for thy sake we are killed all the day long. We are counted as sheep for the slaughter. We are counted as sheep for the slaughter. Like when you go to a slaughterhouse, or a butcher, or when you go to like a farm, they have to slaughter animals. Thinking about clean animals, like sheep or a chicken or whatever, but it's like I just heard a scream. But yeah, think about sheep. We're accounted as sheep for the slaughter. But yeah, this is an example, and examples will go on until this place is no more. I'm speaking in code. I'm walking around with people where people are. This place is no more, and Yahushua comes and delivers the elect. But watch the Lord. Watch the Lord move.